Hello and welcome back to more early gameplay of the Crew Motorfest, and this is little over 10 minutes of open world free roam with the Koenigsegg Jesko. Now, I really wanted to see what it was like to explore around this game world in a car this fast, because until this point, I had never driven anything remotely near this caliber in this game yet. Now, we are starting off at night, but if you are not a fan of nighttime gameplay, you can either skip ahead in the video or just keep watching until the later on portions of the video, because it does turn to day quite soon. Now, what I do want to highlight though is these gorgeous driving roads. I know that in comparison to, like, say for example, some of the prior maps in the Crew series, the map in the Crew Motorfest might not seem quite as grand, not quite as massive, but even though it might not be as enormous, the roads that they have packed into it are A, absolutely beautiful, and B, they are incredibly fun to drive. Now, you do have to kind of adjust your brain a little bit though when you traverse these roads in something this freaking quick. This car is such an absolute monster to drive, and it was one of those cars that I never really spent much time in it in other games, and I was like, you know, it really is one of the fastest road cars in the world. I should probably give it a try. And so I did. But no, look off into the distance at the absolutely incredible views in this game, even at night with the glow of the towns and the cities, and that's coming from somebody that isn't usually a fan of nighttime in open world games. I tend to be the person that, like, if you give me an option to skip the night, I tend to be like, yep, skip, don't want it, not interested. But here's the thing, this game, if I had the option to skip night in this game, I probably wouldn't do it, because this game gets nighttime lighting so right. And I'll tell you what I mean when I say it gets nighttime lighting so right. What I mean when I say that is I mean that it doesn't feel so overly dark that it's hard to see, and it also does an incredible job of casting light on the car and on the game world around you, because a lot of games will get night wrong, in my opinion. They'll make it so incredibly dark that the world kind of just feels sort of dead around you, whereas this game still feels very much alive once the sun has gone down. And again, I completely understand that there may be those of you out there that are like, nope, nighttime in open world games still isn't for me. And you know what? That's fine. I entirely respect that, because I was that way for a very long time in regards to a lot of different games. But again, this one changes my perspective on that so much, especially when you get on a road that's got really good streetlights, because there is so much light that the streetlights cast onto the road. There are so many open world racing games that even when you have streetlights, I almost smashed right into that bus, but there are so many open world games that have streetlights, but they don't put off very much light, or very little of that light actually makes it onto the road. This game though, I want to know what lights what bulbs they've got in those streetlights, because they light up everything. The whole road is entirely lit up, and it's super easy to see, and it doesn't make it any kind of chore whatsoever to traverse around this game world during the night. Now, why is it important for a racing game, especially an open world racing game, to look good during the night? Well, for one, nighttime car culture is a very important part of car culture in general, and for it to be represented well in an open world racer like this, I think is extremely important, because think about it, you know, there's that magic of going out super late at night and meeting up with like 3, 4, 5, 6 or more other cars and just going for a nighttime cruise. You also have like nighttime toge racing that you can do if the lighting looks right. And that's the thing, you can do all of these things if and when the lighting looks right. Nighttime car meets, same thing, if and when the lighting looks right. And I know I keep saying that over and over again, but lighting design can literally make or break the experience of the night in any racing game, and this gets it so freaking right. And also, the little glows coming off of the houses and stuff like that as you drive through the neighborhoods, it goes so far in making this game feel alive. And I think it really is one of the most, if not the most, living, breathing, feeling open world racing games I have played in a very, very long time. Now, I know we kind of demolished that speed trap really easily, and when I say demolished, I mean, like, the minimum requirement. I don't mean, like, topping the leaderboards or anything. But that's kind of easy to do when you're in a car like this. And also, when I got to my destination, initially I was like, oh, I should probably do that. And then afterwards I was like, wait a minute. I'm in a Koenigsegg Jesko, and I've got this open world at my disposal. I need to do something about that because this is incredible, right? So as we continue on, the first thing I noticed was like, okay, we have to brake way earlier than I ever expected for like anything else, because the game changes very quickly when you're driving something this fast. You not only have to adjust your own reactions to things, but you also have to adjust your own judgment of what you actually think you're going to be able to do in terms of, like, say, making a corner or needing to slow down enough for a corner, because the way you normally process other vehicles doesn't really line up with something like this. Now, I will say I'm sure that there's going to be people that have been playing the Crew series for a long time that are going to be like, what do you mean? Everything in my garage is as fast as that, and I would never crash if I drove that. You just don't know how to play this game at all, and you're a terrible driver. And you know what? Maybe I am. Maybe I'm not. Maybe I am. Maybe I just avoided that camper, but the trade-off was crashing into a rock wall, so that's really not a trade-off at all because I still crashed. But back to the game at hand. Look at the absolutely beautiful sky out there over the water. That is so gorgeous, isn't it? Like, the way the lighting interacts with the water in this game, gorgeous. Absolutely gorgeous. And this is another reason I was actually looking off at the beautiful sky right there. That's why I drove off the road. At least that's the excuse I'm going to provide. But driving along the water's edge in this game is one of the most satisfying things you can do in free roam. You can see I'm literally tilting the camera over towards the water continuously because, oh hey, this is where I went off-roading with the monster truck in my other video. Wink, wink, nudge, nudge. Video available on my channel. If you haven't seen that one, go check it out. But this part of the map is one of my absolute favorites. This part out here right under the volcano, one of the most beautiful areas to just bring any car and just either cruise or hang out with friends, get photos, or heck, you could do speed runs up and down the coast if you wanted to. But there's a gorgeous viewpoint right here that actually allows your line of sight to just continue way out towards the mountains in the distance, where you can see the sky actually meet up with the water. And that's, in my opinion, one of the most beautiful things that you can see in this game. If you're someone that likes driving and racing games that have a very, like, visual flair, you know what I mean? They have that hyper visual appeal. Like, if you particularly like to be visually stimulated while playing your racing or driving games, this game, perfect for that. Absolutely perfect for that. It's such a visually engaging game, and I really love that they went all in on that. And can we also switch gears for a second back to the car? Because this car, I know I just went off the road with it again, but I really do kind of need to get to the point where I really am accustomed to this car's level of speed, because it is genuinely, truly, absolutely insane. It's gnarly. I love how the, like, speed trap, what was it, like 105? Yeah, get 105, that was like 190 something. That still only got me 6th on the board, but, you know, not really the greatest result, but still well above the sort of entry level point, we'll call it. Now, I could see, when this game releases, I could see this area of the map. Look at that gorgeous view out there. It's absolutely freaking beautiful, isn't it? I could see this being one of the most popular parts of the map for photography, or for just, like, getting your group of friends together and hanging out and just cruising along the water, or even doing drag races in this area. Hit it at 257.6 miles an hour that time. Ranked second on the board for that. That was not what I was expecting to get. Not what I was expecting to get at all. I still figured that was going to be pretty far down on the board, but I was like, you know what? That'll be good for now. And now that we have spent some time absolutely hooning around in the Koenigsegg Jesko, I did want to give y'all a little snippet of first-person view gameplay because I know that there are some first-person view players out there in the audience. I know that there aren't a ton of y'all, but for the ones that are, well, I say there aren't a ton of y'all. There are, but I say compared to the third-person view players, because there are a lot of players out there that will play a game like this in third person and just never ever use the first-person view because it's just not their thing. But for the first-person view players out there, I 100% see you, because first-person view, especially in a car like this, is so freaking engaging, and I love that this game gives you the option to enjoy and experience cars like this from the interior view. But if y'all enjoyed this look at gameplay in FREEROAM in the Crew Motorfest with the absolutely incredible Koenigsegg Jesko, let me know your thoughts and opinions in the comments below. Hit the like button if you enjoyed, subscribe if you're new, and I will see y'all next time.